I am Dark Bloom.
And good evening and welcome to the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour presented by Mr. Ocean CM 3882 on YouTube. We have a very special race here tonight and a few special guests with us, and it looks like the first group right here is gridding up, so we will jump right into the starting order. On pole for the first heat, we've got Winston Deal. Outside of him, we've got John Canizaro Jr. In third, Jason Goodwin. In fourth, Quentin Haley. In fifth, Ryan Martin. In sixth, Jeff Wiggs. In seventh, Pierce Moffitt. And in eighth, JJ Hill. And we saw Winston Deal at the top of the charts there in qualifying, so he will start here on pole in this first heat. The top four will transfer through, and the rest will have a chance to qualify in the B main later on this evening. It'll be 8 laps here at the beautiful Charlotte, the dirt track at Charlotte. And these dirt midget cars look great out here, and I'm excited to get this race started. And you will notice a name that may be familiar over there on the scoreboard, and that was Quentin Haley. And yes, some of you may know that is Justin Haley's brother here joining us tonight. Run alongside the normal series runners here in the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour. And it looks like we're going to do one more pace lap here, and then we will get started here with the first heat. See the pace truck off there, and they will go into turn 3 and 4 here under caution, and will take the green flag. The leader does have to wait on the green flag here on this first initial restart. So we'll see who gets the better jump here. Is it going to be this 002 there on the inside Deal, or is it going to be John Canizaro Jr. there on the outside? You can see Canizaro Jr. there making some moves on the outside. He's under pressure by Goodwin there in the 72. But he is going to be able to slot down there into second place. Meanwhile, Goodwin is not done there. Looks like he's going to switch over. Thought he was going to go to the outside, but no, he's going to send it up to the inside there. They do make contact, but they keep going. Meanwhile, that's going to allow Jeff Wiggs here in the number 71 machine there. As you can see, slide up the track. And we've also got a pass for the lead brewing up here. Canizaro Jr. into the lead. Is Winston Deal going to be able to cross over here underneath him? No, as we approach the line with 5 to go. Looks like the guys mostly have settled down into single file racing here. Winston Deal slipped up there on the exit of turn 2, and you can see that allowed Goodwin right up beside him here. All drivers on the bottom lane currently. And we'll see here. Looks like Jeff Wiggs there up on the inside of Jason Goodwin. Going to make this pass here for third. And Jeff is going to slot up there in the third, but Goodwin is not done there. You can see the beautiful crossover. Can he get him back? No. As we cross the line with 3 to go here in heat number 1. John Canizaro Jr. out front, starting second. Now in first, Winston Deal, who started on pole in second. Right behind him, he is under pressure by Jason Goodwin in the 72. Looks like we've had a bit of a mistake by the 71. He's further back in the field because that's going to allow Quentin Haley here into this final transfer spot. And that is where he's going to want to be as we are 2 to go. And you see a big slide there out of Winston Deal. That is going to allow Jason Goodwin underneath for that second place as we start the final lap here. And it looks like Winston Deal is going to try down on the inside. Can he make it stick for this second place here? John Canizaro Jr. taking home the win, and Winston Deal going to come out ahead there in second. Jason Goodwin in third. Jeff Wiggs in fourth, and it looks like Jeff did pass Quentin there for that final transfer spot. But Quentin will have a chance to race his way in the B main coming up shortly. All right, in heat number 2 here, we have Colin Shane there on pole. On his outside, we've got James Barrett Jr., last week's winner at Lanier. We've got Henry Clappert in 3rd, Aaron Trotter in 4th, Caden Folkerts in 5th, Cameron McHone in 6th, Shane DeMontova, I do apologize, is on 7th position, and Ryan Brown there starting in 8th. It is going to be an exciting heat number 2 here. 2 very fast drivers. We've got Barrett Jr. and Colin Shane here starting side by side as we start this second heat. Remember, top 4 transfer through tonight to the main event. Main event will be the top 20 drivers. And it looks like 2 will be sent home this evening, as we do have 22 drivers trying to qualify their way in. Only the top 20 will make it. But this battle right here for this second heat, I can tell you these 2 drivers right here are going to battle it out. And it's going to be a pretty darn good heat race if I can foresee the future, as the pace truck is off there. And they are going to get started here as they come around turn 4. And the green flag is out there. It looks like James Barrett Jr. getting the slower start. Colin Shane on the outside, can't make the outside stick. He wants to go down. Crossover on the inside. That is a great pass right here for your lead. And they do make contact. It looks like Barrett Jr. is going to win out on that exchange. And real quick, we'll just go back and watch that starting crash there. It looked like we had a car up in the fence. And that is Ryan Brown there. Did touch the wall. Meanwhile, up front here, James Barrett Jr. starting to pull away from Aaron Trotter in 2nd. We've got Colin Shane. He's fallen back to 3rd after making contact with Barrett. And then Cameron McHone there in your final transfer spot this evening in 4th place. Back in 5th, we've got Caden Folkerts, Shane DeMontova, and Henry Clappert here battling it out for that 7th position. Meanwhile, right here, we've got a battle for 3rd. Aaron Trotter is under pressure there from Colin Shane for that 2nd position. And it looks like Colin Shane is going to take the inside line there and come out in front of Trotter as we come to 4 to go. You can see James Barrett Jr. there already extending out to about 0.7 of a second lead in front of the 2nd place Colin Shane. Right behind him, though, Aaron Trotter was running 2nd just a few laps ago, wants it back, and is chasing down Colin Shane as we have 3 laps to go. And looking at the lap times there as they went by, Colin Shane was actually 0.2 quicker than James Barrett Jr. We'll see if he has enough laps left as we come to 2 to go. And they're going to take the white flag this time by James Barrett Jr. out front. Colin Shane in 2nd. He is getting closer, but he is losing time here as he's going to try the inside for the lead here as they go through the final turn. Final lap, it's going to be a drag race off the turn. Who can get the power down? It looks like Colin Shane is going to come away with the win. James Barrett Jr. in 2nd. Aaron Trotter in 3rd. And Cameron McHone there in that final transfer spot in 4th. Caden Folkerts and Henry Clappert will finish in 6th and 7th. All right, we have a very action-packed heat number 3 here, going over the starting order. As soon as the drivers get on track, here they are. We've got Brody Graham there in 1st, starting on pole. Darren Stark in 2nd. Blake Kennedy in 3rd. And yes, folks, if you see that name there, Justin Haley, it does look familiar. That is because that is Colleague Racing, Justin Haley, running here with these guys tonight. We've got Brayson Collins in 5th, and then another name you might be familiar with, Kaz Gralla, also Colleague Racing Cup and Xfinity Series driver there, is with us starting 6th. We've got Keelan Belsha in 7th for heat number 3. Top 4 make it through. The rest will have a chance to qualify in the B main. And the pace lights are going to go off the pace truck here one more time around under caution, and then we will get racing here for heat number 3. Brody Graham there going to start it out in front there with Darren Stark starting in 2nd, Blake Kennedy, and then Justin Haley there on the inside in that 4th row. We'll see who gets the better start on a chaotic start here as they all try to get down to the bottom line as the pace truck is off. And they're off. Darren Stark there on the inside getting a bad start. Brody Graham going to squeeze down in there and try to take away the lead. And it looks like he's going to do it. Good job by him. Right behind them, Justin Haley up into 3rd. Behind him, we've got Kaz Grala up there, the only driver on the high side right now. We'll see if he can make that work. And up front here, we've got a battle for the lead. Graham right on the tail there of Stark. Justin Haley out in 3rd and Kaz Grala there in 4th, but he is under pressure there from Brayson Collins and Kennedy, and we'll see how hard they can fight here for that final transfer spot. Meanwhile up front, Darren Stark there out front, Brody Graham in 2nd, nothing changing there. Justin Haley in 3rd, right behind them still Kaz Grala in 4th place as we are 5 to go. Behind them, Blake Kennedy and Brayson Collins here are fighting it out for 5th position. You can see Brayson on the inside. He gets into the slick stuff there, not going to be able to drive off the turn. And here we go, 4 to go up front. Darren Stark, Brody Graham, all on the bottom line there. You could see Graham slide up the track a little bit just where that loose stuff is and not able to get the drive off. He is not hugging as tight of a line around the bottom there as Darren Stark is, and it is starting to show. And it looks like teammates here, Kaz Grala is starting to catch Justin Haley as we go to the line. 2 to go this time around. And we'll see if Brody Graham here has anything for Darren Stark as we go into turns 3 and 4 and take the white flag here. Can he get to the back of Darren Stark? That is the question. Darren so far pulling away 0.6 of a second there. Great launch off of turns 1 and 2. And it looks like he is going to come across there and take the checkered flag in heat number 3. Brody Graham coming home 2nd, Justin Haley in 3rd, Kaz Grala in 4th, that final transfer spot this evening. So congratulations to both of those drivers. Blake Kennedy and Brayson Collins will round out there in 6th and 7th. All right, now they're gridding up for the B main. And it looks like 6 drivers will qualify in here from the B main. Starting on pole, we've got Quentin Haley. 2nd, Caden Folkerts. 3rd, Blake Kennedy. 4th, Ryan Martin. 5th, Henry Clappard. In 6th, Brayson Collins. In 7th, JJ Hill. In 8th, Shane DeMontova. In 9th, Keelan Belsha. In 10th, Pierce Moffitt. And 11th, Ryan Brown. All right, excited to see who will qualify in here from the B main race. Remember, top 20 overall are making it to the feature tonight. We'll see if Quentin Haley here can hold off some very fast drivers on his outside. Caden Folkerts. And then we've got Ryan Martin, Blake Kennedy, Henry Clappert, and Brayson Collins, all fast, going to be coming at the front here. We'll see if Quentin Haley can hold them off as the pace lights are off the pace truck this time. We will take the green flag. right, here they come around. Gonna take the green flag this time around. Quentin Haley there on the inside. Caden Folkerts on the outside. Pace truck is gonna pull off the track here, and they will get going. Quentin looking to establish his line there in the grip. As you can see, he's pushing them up the track there a little bit. They do touch. They're coming to the green flag here. And they're off. Late start by all drivers there. We might have some crashing, and we do. Looks like JJ Hill involved in that. Meanwhile, up front, Quentin Haley there pulling out to a good, healthy lead. Right behind them, we've got 2 cars on the inside, 2 on the outside. That's Caden Folkerts there on the outside. Blake Kennedy looking to make his way up there into 3rd. Ryan Martin up there on the high side, working his way to 5th. And Brayson Collins there. As you can see, these drivers are going 3 wide here. And looking for the Ryan Brown there, just made a great move up the middle, 3 wide. Found some speed through that turn. As you can see now, he is in 4th position. And Brayson Collins there is battling it out there on the inside line. Some drivers moving up the track here. Looks like that is where the grip is currently. And Blake Kennedy here chasing down our leader, Quentin Haley. Looks like he's about ready to set up a pass here as we come to 9 to go. And looks like Ryan Brown has gotten down to the bottom line there and up into 3rd. Right behind him, though, a very fast Caden Folkerts. And we've got a pass for the lead here. It's Blake Kennedy on the inside. Quentin Haley going to move to 2nd place there. He'll be under pressure by Ryan Brown soon with the lap times he's turning. You can just see the grip down there on the bottom as Ryan Brown easily moves up here into 2nd place. It doesn't look like Quentin Haley's done, though. You see him fighting back there on the outside. Can he get the run off? No, he cannot. But we have a battle here for the lead. Ryan Brown going to try the inside. Blake Kennedy on the outside, and you can see Ryan Brown easily advancing there to the lead. So it looks like he is making that bottom work. Meanwhile, some other drivers, such as Blake Kennedy, Quentin Haley, are struggling with the high side here. And it looks like Quentin Haley's going to move down to the bottom. Can he get a run here for 2nd place? And he slides up the track there. Quentin Haley looking to make a move here on Blake Kennedy for 2nd place as we come to 4 to go. And right behind them, Caden Folkerts in 4th. You can see a little wobble out of him. And that's going to allow Brayson Collins there to catch up. And we saw Quentin there have a little moment, slide up the track. That's going to allow Folkerts right behind him there on that high side. Can he make this pass stick? As we are 3 to go, coming to the line, 2 to go here in the B main event. So far, as we are 2 to go here, Ryan Brown up front, Blake Kennedy there in 2nd. In 3rd, we've got Quentin Haley. And in 4th, we have Caden Folkerts. Behind him, Brayson Collins trying to get up here and get past Folkerts for the 4th place. And Ryan Brown will take the white flag this time around here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And Ryan Brown is going to come around here and take the victory here in the B main. Blake Kennedy in 2nd, Quentin Haley in 3rd, Caden Folkerts in 4th. Brayson Collins going to come home in 5th. Ryan Martin in 6th. All right, they will have a 3-minute warm-up session here while they gear up for the main event. And while they warm up, we will go over a few things here. The schedule for the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour here, presented by Mr. Ocean CM3882 on YouTube. Go check him out. We are at round 3 here of an 11-round series. We are at the dirt track at Charlotte. Next week we head to Limaland, then Eldora, USA, Bristol, Cedar Lake, Knoxville, Kokomo, and Chili Bowl will be the final event there in the 11th round. And we're excited to see what these drivers can do here in this A main event tonight. Top 20 drivers qualified their way in. Very challenging heat races in the B main, as we just saw a couple good drivers get eliminated. All right, less than a minute, and then we'll get started there with our main event tonight here at the dirt track at Charlotte. The question is going to be, can James Barrett Jr. come home with a second win in a row, fresh off a win last week at Lanier? Or is John Canizaro Jr. there going to get his win tonight with that beautiful paint scheme there? Or will one of our special guests, such as Quentin Haley, Justin Haley, or Kaz Gralla, sneak away with a win tonight? That is the question. Less than 5 seconds here left in the warm-up, and then we will get started with our main event. All right, starting order for our main event this evening. We have Brody Graham on pole, James Barrett Jr. second, Winston Deal in third, Darren Stark in fourth, Colin Shane in fifth, John Canizaro Jr. in sixth, Jason Goodwin in seventh. In eighth, we've got Aaron Trotter. In ninth, Justin Haley. In 10th, we've got Jeff Wiggs. In 11th, we have Cameron McHone. 12th, Kaz Gralla. 13th, Ryan Brown. 14th, Blake Kennedy. 15th, Quentin Haley. 16th, Caden Folkerts. And in 17th, Brayson Collins. 18th, Ryan Martin. 19th, Henry Clappert. And JJ Hill there in the 20th position. All right, they'll do a couple pace laps here, and then we'll get started with the main event. Very stacked field here this evening. A lot of fast drivers, special guests. This is going to be a great race. Hopefully we can keep it clean and stay caution free as long as we can. That's what Brayson Collins is going to be looking for. He's very fast on the long run. Seems to have a bit of issue in these short heat races and sometimes qualifying, but we do expect to see him up front in the top 5 tonight, as he's shown he can do. Currently sitting third in the points this evening. All right, looks like the pace lights are off the pace truck, so we'll get started here this time around. Restart will be on the green flag. All of the drivers, including the leader, has to wait for the green before they advance on the track. Every restart after that will be the leader's discretion. As you can see, the pace truck is off. We've got Brody Graham there up front. James Barrett Jr. on the outside. Who's going to take home tonight, as there's already a little contact behind them as we head down into turn 1. You can see we've touched there. Oh, not sure who. Winston Deal. Somebody got into the back of him there as he got sideways. and ended up spinning around. We'll have to go back. Looks like Colin Shane might have been involved in that. Hey, it was Colin Shane, a very fast driver, one of the favorites tonight. So he's currently in the back, and it looks like we've got another car in the wall. Let's go back, and this is Ryan Brown here. As you can see, he's on the inside. Looks like he's going to hit a tire there on the inside and does spin around. Well, let's go back and see if we can catch what happened to Colin Shane here. You can see Colin there on the bottom in that pink car. The number 78 machine. Oh, he's going to get right into the back of that car there, as it was just a big checkup moment. All right, up front here, under our first caution, 4 laps complete. We have Brody Graham still up front. He was able to hold James Barrett Jr. off on that restart. Darren Stark up 1 position into 3rd place. And then we have Jason Goodwin here in the 72. He is up 3 positions since the start. And then in 5th there, we have Justin Haley up 4 positions since the start of the race. We'll check in with Kaz Gralla here. He is currently scored in 10th position, up 2 places since the start of the race. And it looks like Quentin Haley is right in front of him there in the 9th position, up 6 places since the start of the race here. Chaotic start. And it looks like the restart is going to be single file here, just to get the drivers to settle down a bit. You can see Graham is going to launch there. Barrett Jr. behind him. Darren Stark on the inside line. Can he get up alongside Barrett Jr. there? And it looks like he is going to be right behind him, not able to make that move. Looks like Winston Deal here battling it out with Justin Haley right behind him. And we'll see how that works out for him. Justin Haley slips up a little bit there, and that's going to allow Aaron Trotter right behind him. As you can see, Aaron and Cameron McCollum battling it out here, and that is going to allow Quentin Haley on the outside. And John Canizaro Jr. there coming up with the inside. This is for 8th position, and it looks like he is going to make that pass stick. We'll go check up front here. Brody Graham pulling away, half-second lead, and we do have another caution out. Like Henry Clappert is involved in that in the 34 up against the wall there. And we'll see what happens as they head down into turns 1 and 2. Oh, looks like he just threw it in there too hot and touched Brayson Collins. Didn't look like it messed Brayson up. And then we had another car. That looks like J.J. Hill just avoiding that wreck and getting low on the track. And then it looks like he hit one of those tires on the inside. And yep, that is what it's going to be. He's going to clip that tire there. That's going to do heavy damage to the car. Unfortunately, don't like to see that. And we have 10 laps complete here in our main event this evening. Brody Graham still holding off James Barrett Jr. And they will line up single file here for another single file restart. I believe that is the latest change here in the series, just to try to get more green flag lap runs in. As you know what they say, cautions breed cautions, and it looks like that's what we're experiencing here right now. But we're going to see if Darren Stark there in the 55 has anything for James Barrett Jr. And we do expect those two to race each other pretty clean. They are teammates. All driving for Barrett Sim Racing there. And it looks like the pace truck is off. And Brody Graham's going to launch off the turn there. Get a great jump. Barrett Jr. there on the inside. It looks like Darren Stark going to try to complete a pass here for second. Not able to make that stick. Jason Goodwin back there in fourth position, and closing here, going to take third away from Barrett Jr. as the teammates Darren Stark and Barrett Jr. there made contact. And that is going to allow Jason Goodwin up into the third position.
The yellow flag is out.
And it looks like we have another caution flag out. Looks like maybe Winston Deal involved in that. Yes, it was. We'll try to rewind it just a little bit further. Oh, we've got another victim there of those inside tires, and that's what caused that whole thing. It looks like he got tagged by multiple cars. And so far we've completed 15 action-packed laps here at the dirt track at Charlotte for round 3 of the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour, presented by Mr. Ocean CM 3882. We will get going green here again momentarily. Brody Graham there, gonna lead them down to the green flag. Darren Stark in second place, Jason Goodwin in third, and James Barrett Jr. has slid back to fourth place, losing 2 positions since the start of the race this evening. And Justin Haley will round out our top 5 there in 5th. Gonna have another single file restart. Do plan on all the restarts from here on out being single file. You can see all the drivers there lining up at the top of the track. And it looks like Brody Graham is going to be off. Darren Stark making contact with him there right as he got into the throttle. And that is going to slow him down. James Barrett Jr. right on the outside there of Goodwin. He wants that third position back, but all 3 of these are teammates, so we'll see how aggressive James Barrett Jr. is. Meanwhile, Justin Haley there on the outside under pressure from Colin Shane, who's working his way back up after being involved in the first wreck on the first lap. And now Justin Haley is going to fall behind there in 7th. His brother trailing him there, Quentin Haley, in 8th. Meanwhile, up here, it looks to be a Brody Graham and Barrett Sim Racing show here. As you can see, the 2 teammates battling it out. Looks like we do have one that, like James Barrett Jr. has disconnected. I'm not sure what happened there. And he's back. Okay, he had some connection issues there. He totally disappeared for us, but he's back into 3rd. Canizaro Jr. there in 4th, looking to make a move on that 3rd place. Barrett Jr. Darren Stark about 1 second currently behind Brody Graham out front, running away with it here. And these 3 cars, Colin Shane, John Canizaro Jr. Looks like Goodwin is going to make it around. Looks like Canizaro Jr. there did get spun around. The caution is going to come out. That'll be our 4th caution this evening. Let's go back and take a look at that. Canizaro Jr. there in the white car on the outside. Looks like they're going to come down and just make a little contact, and that's going to spin him around. He's going to collect it. Looked like Justin Haley there made contact. And it looks like we will go green with about 15 laps remaining in our main event here tonight, a 40-lap main event at the dirt track at Charlotte here for round 3 of the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour, presented by Mr. Ocean CM 3882. Out front, Brody Graham running away with it here. Darren Stark behind him. Then we've got James Barrett Jr. and then Jason Goodwin 4th there, and in 5th we've got Colin Shane looking to work his way back up after being shuffled to the back on the first lap, involved in an incident. We'll see if he can work his way back up. Justin Haley here looking good in 6th position. Quentin Haley in 7th. Let's check in on Kaz Gralla. He is currently scored in the 11th position. And the pace truck is off there. They will get going green this time around. Waiting on Graham to get the jump. Good jump by all the front four there. And it looks like the battle is going to be there for third and fourth. And we've got a car around that looks like Barrett Jr. spun around, making contact with one of his teammates there. That will bring out the fifth caution. We'll watch this start. Barrett Jr. up there in the blue car in third right here as they go down into turns 1 and 2. And yeah, just a little contact there, and that spins them around and will bring out our fifth caution. And we'll ride on board Jason Barrett Jr. here on this restart as we watch the replay. And you can see him just, his teammate come there, give him a little tap, spin him around. That was a wild ride. I don't know how anyone else wasn't collected, but good job by all the drivers dodging that wreck there. That's going to slot James Barrett Jr. here all the way back to 11th place. Last week's winner, currently in mid-pack. But we still have Brody Graham here up front leading the race. Darren Stark in second. Jason Goodwin in third. And then Justin Haley there in fourth. And it looks like Goodwin is going to get a penalty for that incident, falling back to the end of the line here on this restart. So he'll get shuffled back to the end of the field for causing contact with James Barrett Jr. there and bringing out the fifth caution. And it looks like the pace lights are off the pace truck, so we'll get going this time around. Going to be 11 to go when we take the green flag. Can Brody Graham stay out front and keep the very fast Darren Stark and Colin Shane behind him? That will be the question. And then we have wild card Justin Haley here. We'll see what he can do on this restart as they go green. Brody Graham out to a good lead there. Right behind him, Darren Stark. And Colin Shane, see a little wobble there out of start as these two teammates fight it out for second place. And it looks like Justin Haley here in front of brother Quentin Haley for fourth place. And we've got a car all the way against the wall there, making up a lot of time. That is, not sure who that is. We see Kaz Gralla up top. Well, that is Ryan Brown trying to make his way back up through the field here. Be the only car there all the way up at the top in that cushion. Meanwhile, Justin Haley and Quentin Haley all down on the bottom. You see Quentin Haley going to slide up the track there. That is going to allow Aaron Trotter by on the inside. Brody Graham extending his lead out behind him. Darren Stark and Colin Shane. The real battle here for fourth place as we have Ryan Brown up top going around potentially Haley Trotter. I'm sorry, Aaron Trotter there behind Justin Haley. Up top on the high side, we've got Ryan Brown. And Colin Shane also up top there, but we have another caution. Let's see what brought this one out. Looks like Jeff Wiggs involved in this one. And that is one of the guys that was running along that high side. Dangerous to do up there without hitting the wall. And that looks like what happened there down the back stretch. Just made contact with the wall, and that's going to flip him over and bring out our sixth caution this evening. With 6 laps to go, we can expect to have around 3 to 4 laps once we get going green. And then there will be 2 green-white checkered attempts this evening if they are needed to finish out this main event here in round 3 at the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour presented by Mr. Ocean 3882. So far it's been the Brody Graham show. He has led every single lap here of the main event, still out front. Darren Stark right behind him. Another teammate, Colin Shane, has worked his way back up into third. Justin Haley sitting in fourth, up 5 positions since the start of the race this evening. And then we've got Ryan Brown there in 5th. And we'll just look for the biggest mover so far is actually we've got a tie for it. Ryan Brown up 8 positions, and then Quentin Haley also up 8 positions since the start of the race. And the pace truck is off. Brody Graham is going to lead us to the green flag here as we come to the line and take 3 to go. Just 3 laps remaining here in the main event. You see Darren Stark up on the high line. Colin Shane on the bottom. Is Colin going to be able to get by here for that second place? And you can see it is neck and neck here for second place as we come to 2 to go. Looks like Justin Haley has joined him up there on the high side. And then right behind them, Ryan Brown still battling back there in 5th position. And you can see the leader is about ready to come under challenge from Stark, as that high line is looking mighty racy here as we are on the white flag. Brody Graham out front, Darren Stark on the high side there, Colin Shane on the inside. And this is your battle for second as they come toward the line. Brody Graham going to take it home, Darren Stark in second, Colin Shane in third, Justin Haley bringing it home in 4th, and Ryan Brown in 5th. That was an excellent race to the flag there. And we'll bring up the official results here in just a second. And then we'll also get in the booth with a few of the drivers from tonight to top 3 and give them an interview. All right, and your final results this evening in our feature event. We've got Brody Graham taking home the win, Darren Stark in second. Justin Haley going to actually be scored in 3rd. Very interesting. Just making sure I have the right data up. Well, he was actually in 4th. I'm not sure what happened. It looks like Colin Shane scoring in 15th might have been disqualified, so we'll get some confirmation there. But Justin Haley officially in 3rd for us. Ryan Brown in 4th, Aaron Trotter in 5th, Quentin Haley in 6th, John Canizaro Jr. in 7th, Cameron McCone in 8th. In 9th, we've got Blake Kennedy, 10th, Kaz Gralla, Brayson Collins in 11th, Caden Folkerts in 12th, Ryan Martin in 13th, James Barrett Jr., last week's winner, not having the night he hoped for, in 14th, Colin Shane there in 15th, Winston Deal in 16th, Jason Goodwin 17th, and in 18th, Jeff Wiggs. All right, we'll give the drivers just a moment to get up here in the broadcast booth, and we'll do some interviews. All right, we're going to try to get a word here from our 3rd place finisher. It doesn't look like he's available. So we'll bring up Darren Stark in just a moment, and I'm just waiting to get a confirmation to see if Colin Shane is out this evening from the top 3. And bear with us just a moment as we get the top 3 in here. I want to make sure we interview the right guys, so bear with us 1 minute while we get this sorted out. All right, and we'll bring up our third place finisher here tonight, Justin Haley. Hey, it's Kevin up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, I'm going to start out with, first of all, I am not qualified to be interviewing you. I had no idea you were joining this race this evening, so go easy on me here. But you brought it home in third. Heck of a race. These guys were tough in front of you. You saw all the Barrett Sim Racing drivers there pulling away, and you worked your way up the field 5 positions since the start of the race. Got to ask you, how'd you do it?
I'm not sure. This is that was one of my first midget races. I think that was probably my second midget race ever, and just kind of hopped on. Brazen Collins got me the invite late there. I actually was in Phoenix this morning. Woke up in Phoenix and jumped on a plane. So came over here. We had a good run. My brother Quentin had a good run too. So I enjoyed it. Obviously, it was extremely difficult, those midget stars. So thought we had a good run though.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like you were doing well there on the bottom. You were actually one of the first drivers to go up to the high side there in the main event. It just didn't look like that high line was developing as quickly. Is that what you felt in the car?
I would probably say 10 to 15 more laps. I think the top line would have been pretty good, but just jumped up there just to feel it out. Obviously, the bottom is so hard to run with it being so slick on entry. So a lot of throttle control and a lot of steering input as well. So like I said, that 40 lap feature took everything out of me. Definitely tired. So enjoyed it though. Hopefully, I can come back and do it again another time.
Absolutely. And while you're here, is there anybody you need to give a shout out to?
I mean, just praising Collins for inviting me. Awesome series he puts on, and appreciate everyone out there watching.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on that third place finish. We enjoyed having you and hope to have you back again.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, now we'll get a word with our second place finisher here this evening, Darren Stark. Hey, Darren, it's Kevin up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
All right, I want to start it out here first. No pressure, but you're following up an interview with Justin Haley. So,
Uh-oh.
tough
It's
act
pretty
to
big shoes
follow.
to fill.
Exactly. But you brought it home in front of Justin Haley in the second position tonight. We saw you all night long up front, battling out your teammates. Got to ask first off, it looked like you guys are teammates, but you race each other really well and pretty aggressively.
Yeah, we all raced pretty hard, and I really was hoping I could do something on the top on that last restart. I just couldn't hit it right. I hit it once or twice, and then I just couldn't find it again.
I got you. Yeah, we unfortunately that's what Justin said. He said that about 15 more laps and that high side would probably come in, but just not enough speed there to make a pass or complete a pass this evening. And that bottom line was dominant. But hey, you came home in second. Great run. While you're here, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my team, Pushing the Cushion Motorsports. This week I kind of left BSR and went on my own and kind of started my own team, and we had a pretty good finish with a good top three. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'd like to thank T46 Graphics and then DSR Setup.
All right, and we appreciate you having you here again this week, coming home in the second place. Good run this evening, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week as well.
Sounds good.
All right, that'll do it for second place finisher there, Darren Stark this evening. Now we'll try to get a word with our main event winner, Brody Graham, and it looks like he might not be available. And just double checking, we'll give him one more minute to come in here. And we're looking here. No, not gonna make it in the broadcast booth here. Unfortunately, our winner, Brody Graham, taking home the main event here. And we had a great race this evening, action-packed, some special guests. We had Justin Haley, we had Quentin Haley, and we had Kaz Gralla here running amongst the fast drivers here in the World Online Racing Championship Dirt Midget Tour. James Barrett Jr. there, last week's winner. coming home in a disappointing 14th position. I know he's not going to be happy with that, but he had 2 teammates up front there taking home first and second. So good run by these guys. Good race. We'll see you next week here on Soak Tires Broadcast.